got to think, what's your niche? Dominate that niche. And if you're the best, you're going to make hundreds of % per year. These can be the first time where these YouTube channels, they blow these returns out of the water, 10%. And people are like, oh man, you can't make more than 10%. You can't bet the S&P. There's evidence everywhere. And like, we're going to talk about it later in upcoming podcasts. It's more complicated than this, so we can't say it now. We're doing shit.
3, 2, 1.
Alrighty, so recently we had a comment on one of our Instagram posts saying that it is not possible to turn $10,000 into 91 mil. And we could not believe our eyes. We were shocked. I was taken aback. I was in pain, physically and mentally. So today we're going to chat about how it is actually very much a reality.
Yeah. So this concept is called the multiple $10,000 bet strategy. This is a lesson on how to think, right? How to think like an actual investor or a businessman, an entrepreneur. And this is a ripper episode because this is the type of shit you don't find it on YouTube. You can't find this good shit there, all right? So the only place you can find it is here.
Let's
Good
go.
shit. So the thing was, like we were saying last time, S&P 500, it's really damn hard to beat that. Very difficult. But if you do invest $10,000 once off and you can get 20%, so double the rate of the S&P 500, it's possible. Really damn hard though. If you can do that for 50 years, it will turn into 91 million. So when people on TikTok and Instagram, they're saying, oh, that's not possible, they're looking at just the 20% for 50 years. Doing that on your entire net worth, that's really, really difficult. But if you do it on a single $10,000 bet, it's possible. So start thinking like this, all right? Imagine your first $10,000, we're thinking in $10,000 bet sizes. First 10 grand goes to the S&P 500 because it's the safest thing out there, right? That will make you 450 grand in 40 years. Next up, you get another 10 grand. You probably want to put it in the same thing. Because now if you got 20 grand, or it could even be 25 grand, for the same 10% in 40 years is 1.1 million.
So the strategy starts with building out the safest thing first.
Yeah, you're building out the safest thing.
Yep.
And now you're practically guaranteed your retirement's good now with just two big bets, right, of 10 and 10. Then the next 10 grand, you might want to invest it in something very safe as well, but it's more risk, which is like the NASDAQ 100. So look into that index. It's slightly different to the S&P 500. S&P 500 is the top 500 companies. NASDAQ 100 has only 100, right? Still extremely diversified, but it's heavily weighted to technology companies, right? And that's another $10,000 bet. That might beat the S&P 500. Like if I'm looking at it right now, obviously I can't tell in 50 years' time. If I'm looking at it right now, maybe the downside of the S&P 500, it's too safe potentially.
Yeah.
You know, it's too diversified. Maybe I only want 100 companies. Because if you look at actual investors, very few invest in 100 things. They more have their portfolios around 10 to 50 to 60 companies. You know, most are in that range somewhere.
Yeah.
You always have outliers that invest in only one or two things, but most people are around probably average around 50 companies, I would say.
But even the S&P 500, if you look at the top 10 holdings of the S&P 500, they actually make up majority of the profits of the S&P 500.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, and the NASDAQ 100 actually has higher weighted percent because it is technology based, higher weighted percentages to those top 10 S&P stocks.
Yeah, that's right. And then maybe like the next $10,000 bet is like FANG only. So FANG is the acronym for Facebook, Amazon, Netflix.
They got to change the name.
Yeah,
They can't
change Netflix. Get rid of Netflix. Put Nvidia in there.
But even Facebook, it's called Meta now.
Oh yeah. And then what is it? Google and I'll put Microsoft in there as well.
Yeah.
Microsoft.
So now it's called Mang.
yeah.
Mang.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, do something
Hey,
like
Mang. How are you, Mang?
that. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
But
mate.
the funny thing with the FANG is like that's literally the top 10 stocks in the S&P 500.
Yeah.
They make up the biggest pie.
Yeah.
And would be in the NASDAQ 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is 45% of the NASDAQ 100.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
So you could just say, oh, I want to skip this. But the point is, I'm just trying to make everybody think. Like, everybody says, oh, FANG's, very risky and all of that stuff. But if you're thinking in 10K bet sizes, it's like, oh, just chuck another 10K in it, you know? Then the next thing you might say is, and I wanted to put the FANG in there as well is because sometimes we can look at FANG based on what they're doing today. But the way I look at FANG is like, no, they're a cash printing machine, which allows them to pivot any way they want. So wherever the future trend is, they're just like, oh, this next thing's going to be big, robotics and AI. All right, here's 10 billion, you know? Or like with Facebook and Meta, Zucks is, 10 billion a year or something
On
that he wants to, on VR. So, you know, you got little startups saying they're going to be the future of VR. You got little cryptocurrencies saying that they're going to create this whole VR thing that's going to be like GTA but real life. Like, where's your capital, son?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not saying those like the little garage built companies don't exist, because that's how those big boys got to where they are today.
Yeah.
But the big boys are so big now that they're going to acquire any one of those small companies.
Yeah.
You buy the big boy, you get the little boy anyway.
Yeah, just to put that into context, Doc, because Apple is probably the biggest company in the whole world at the moment. Apple has like $200 billion of just cash. So if you're a small company trying to compete in the same space as Apple can, if you're a threat to Apple and Apple sees you that way, they can very easily deploy that $200 billion and buy you out for like $1 billion. That's nothing to them. That's like 0.5% of their cash balance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's one of those crypto gaming companies that spends, what were the numbers? $250,000 to produce a game.
Yeah.
And they're competing against companies that spend $25 million a year.
Yeah, and like, I think, what was GTA? It's like half a
$500 million.
Yeah, half
to
a
make
billion.
There you go.
And they spent
way
like,
above what I thought.
like more than 6 years to make GTA 5.
Yeah.
So they got a big production team, higher budget. And even if you're spending $250,000 on a game, indie games spend more money on developing their stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they're called indie games for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, they're not AAA titles.
Yeah. So the little lesson inbuilt there is sometimes the best thing to do is follow the money.
Yeah.
When there's a lot of money, usually it leads to something a little bit better than less money.
Yeah.
Maybe a next thing is like, oh, I really see the future of, say, something. Maybe we can use gaming because gaming, it's really easy to get addicted to it.
Hey.
You know, right now, if you think of gaming, before you had to produce actual DVDs. So you had to invest all this capital up front, get developers and all of this stuff, coders to make the actual game designers. Then you had to actually put it on CDs and ship it out across the world. Now they can cut all of that out. Now it's just downloaded straight online. And now people love to buy like their skins for their guns and clothes. So think about that. Like if someone's buying a $5 clothes, like a t-shirt, but what's the profit margin on that? It's probably 99%. You only needed to pay a developer once off to make the design, and then it's done. Yeah. So, and then you just press Control C, Control V, copy and paste, you know, and you just pump it out to the whole entire world.
Yeah. Got
no logistics issues, none of that stuff. So maybe, you know, that's one of your bets. $10,000 is going to gaming. Then another one could be, like we were saying before, the artificial intelligence and automation, robots and all of that. I want to put another 10,000 there. And you just start thinking like, oh, solar. You know, what's the benefits of solar? We hear solar every day and solar trends have come and gone, but what is actually reality with solar? Wait, it's like a money tree. There's a big ass sun that gives us energy every single day. Energy, we need to buy energy, so that means that's money. It's literally a money tree. It's like literally a money printer.
Yeah.
If we can just find a way to harness all of that really well, that means that will pay us every single day.
Yeah.
You know, so, that's another bet.
Yeah.
And then if you look at something like genomics with editing your genes, maybe we can get rid of cancers and all of this stuff. Maybe we can edit our genome so we live 200 years longer. What are people going to pay for that? Yeah. Sounds pretty damn profitable to me. You know, so now you start getting all of these $10,000 bets. And when you think like this, the trick where the mistake that a lot of people make is they're now thinking, oh, if I just do all these $10,000 bets, I'm now extremely diversified. I can make the $10,000 bets like that. But the mindset needs to be, no, I'm trying to make $91 million from my $10,000 bet. So I want to study so hard, make sure I really believe I think it will outpace the S&P 500. It's got good odds of doing it. I do believe it's going to get close to that 20% per year. And companies have compounded at 30, 40% per year for very long periods of time. So it is possible. So yeah, the big thing is like really study. You know, you might study something for an entire year and then place the bet. You know, you don't want to just like literally start studying today make a $10,000 bet tomorrow, save up your next $10,000, and you've been working, so you haven't had time to study, then find the first thing that comes to you. That means it was marketed at you. It's probably not the best idea if you didn't find it and search for it. And then you just place the $10,000 bet. Like, those bets are going to fail.
Yeah.
You really need to put in a lot of time.
Just think about the timeline there, right? Let's say it takes 6 months to get your hands on 10K, right? So you do that twice a year.
Yeah.
Let's say the first 10K, you automatically allocate that to the S&P for the rest of your life. Every time we go straight into the S&P. Your second 10K, you've got that year there to build up your knowledge in these different industries that we just spoke about then.
Yep.
That second one goes, and you can place, across 10 years, you place 10 different bets. Shit.
Yeah. And, you know, like, placing those $10,000 bets, that's like, you don't even have to do that. But if you want to, like, dedicate yourself and actually try to get that 91 million, this is the way to do it. Like, this is an optional thing to do. Like, let's say you put in your first 10K into the S&P 500 and you're saving 10K twice a year, right? If you're just studying and you can't find something else to put your money in, that next 10K, just funnel it into the S&P 500.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And I do think this way of thinking is kind of more towards people that are kind of like Gary Vee, where they say like entrepreneurship and business, that's their one thing that they get joy from. You know, so it's kind of like, it can be like your scorecard, because it's not really about making money anymore if you're like that. So you can like keep track, like, oh, am I doing well at business? I've got to be outperforming the S&P 500. You know, and if you are, you feel good, because it's just like playing a game. You know, because you can argue like playing a video game makes you feel good, but what do you get from it? You get nothing. In this case, at least you do get money, and then you can use that money for better good in the future with effective altruism and all of that, what we talk about, how we want to donate $1 billion. So, yeah, like...
And so just to clarify, when you're talking about the different sectors, is it better to look for an ETF, like a publicly traded ETF, or go for an individual company?
Yeah, I'll start with ETFs first, but then you can then move on. Yeah, it's a good question. Move on to individual companies. Hey, I want to sink 10 grand in Amazon. What happens there? You know? You can start thinking like that. Or, hey, I want to sink 10,000 into this restaurant brand. Or, hey, I've seen this guy, like I was listening to Alex Hormozi, where his actual strategy is, which is very smart, is he believes there's going to be guys like Khan Academy who are just phenomenal teachers, like the best at teaching like mathematics and stuff online. And he thinks it's a winner's take all game. So,
really?
Yeah, so I agree as well, like 100%. Like, if there's the guy that's the best at mathematics, he deserves all the money. He deserves all the eyeballs. So it is turning into like the NBA, right? But it's going to be even more ruthless than the NBA. Like we talk about all the time. It's so damn hard to get into the NBA. Not only do you need to be tall, talented, have everything set up for you, most likely be born in America, because the competition, say in Australia, it sucks. So it puts you behind. You need all these things to go right for you. And then there's like 10 boys on a team or something. And then I don't even know how many teams there are, but there's a less than like 1,000 proper NBA players, I'm guessing. Or it's a very low number. So now in this thing of online education, there's going to be one maths teacher. That's it. Or maybe a few.
Yeah.
And it turns to like personal brand. Oh, I don't really like learning from a man. That's okay. Some people like learning from a woman. You know, oh, I don't really like his teaching style that much. So then it becomes like niched a bit. But there might only be like 5 maths teachers in the world. And you learn just from them. Because if someone's slightly less, why even bother? You will still have maths tutors and coaches and mentors. But when you're learning the main majority topic, you learn from one guy or one girl.
So was Hormozi saying allocate money to
He's trying to find them.
To them,
Yeah.
to invest in them?
Yeah, invest in them.
Yeah.
And then you help them reach a scale quicker.
Yeah.
And then there's a compound effect of social media. Like if you've got the most eyeballs, then the way the algorithm works, then YouTube acquires that. You know, it finds that data, knows other people that would like this, and it pushes you out. And that's how you can compound. Great example of how you can compound more than 20%.
Yeah.
You find YouTube channels, they don't grow at 20% per year. They start slow, you know, but it's easy to, like, Mr. Beast did a 10x from 1 million to 10 million in 1 year.
Yeah.
He did 10x on a big number as well. Now look at the money he's making.
Yeah.
Obviously an outlier, but that's also the thing. And Naval talks about this all the time as well. Like, I bet you Hormozi learned this from Naval, where that's what the internet is doing. It is leverage. So now, whoever is the best, like Mr. Beast, he is the best game show currently. So he's getting all the eyeballs for a game show. I don't call him a YouTube channel. You got to look at the niche. He's the best game show today. Who is the best maths teacher today? It's not a YouTube channel. It's maths teacher. Who is the best at teaching investing? They're going to take over. You know, like for us, we got to level up and learn if we want to be like that. So that's like the mindset of how to think it. You can't think in like one big thing, YouTube channels. You got to think, what's your niche? Dominate that niche. And if you're the best, you're going to make hundreds of % per year. These can be the first time where these YouTube channels, they blow these returns out of the water, 10%. And people are like, oh man, you can't make more than 10%. You can't bet the S&P. There's evidence everywhere. And like, we're going to talk about it later in upcoming podcasts. It's more complicated than this, so we can't say it now. We're doing shit, you know? We're doing shit. You guys don't even know yet. Yeah. And that's what we want to share with you. But we're waiting for when the time is right, because we're going to set everybody up with all these key pieces of knowledge. Once you got it, then you can understand it. Then you can appreciate it. Yeah. So when someone says to us on social media, like, oh, you can't do that, we know exactly where their level of mindset's at, their knowledge. It's like, mate, I remember when I thought that too. You're only back down here. You're still level 3, son. You know? You don't know where you're at. Yeah. So yeah, that's the idea of it, is like multiple $10,000 bets. Yeah, overall as a portfolio, because that's what it is. It's your entire net worth wrapped up in one thing. Now it's all these $10,000 bets. Will the entire thing beat 20%? Not a chance. But it may beat 10% now, right? It may make 12% on that whole thing. And one of those 10K bets made you 91 million.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So that's like the way, like we manage money as well. That's how I think when I structure a portfolio. It's like if someone puts in 100 grand into this portfolio of 50 companies, we just need one of those $10,000 to hit big and make them 91 mil.
Yeah.
Right? That's all we need. So we don't need the whole 100 grand to hit 20%. We're aiming like every single one of our companies we have vetted, and we believe, like literally, that's how we think. We have a little bit of genomics, a little bit of solar, a little bit of all this automation, social media, gaming. We have all of that stuff. It's literally, we gave away all our secrets.
How many hours do you reckon you spend on one company?
I know. It's like 6 months on it, you know, to truly understand it. It's
6 months, and he does it full time. So that can be like 20 hours a week on one company for 6 months.
So,
sorry. I really do believe as well, like if you're going to go down this path, it's really important to have a mindset of curiosity. Rather than just attacking and being like, oh, look, there's no way you can get 20% per year. There's no way.
Instead of saying there's no way, be like, how can I achieve 20%?
Every good question on TikTok, Instagram, we answer.
Yeah.
So if you just frame that question like, how on earth is this possible? Then we'll make a podcast like this, and you know, we'll do it. You know, because then we got the incentive to help and answer the question. Yeah. Instead of,
even during this time, like you got Google at your fingertips.
Sure.
Like you're not going to go to Google and be like, oh, you're so stupid, Google.
Yeah.
You want to ask like questions on Google.
Yeah.
And I think what's crazy as well, like with us at Hardcore Headstart, we've found a way that we believe that we can make more than 10% through stocks. And that's really good because it's scalable. But now we're starting to see a new opportunity in the market, which is the dirty jobs or the standard brick and mortar.
Boring stuff.
Yeah, the boring businesses. They are boring and they are bad compared to these big companies because they can't scale and all that stuff. But there are secrets where you can make 100% or more per year with restaurants and even real estate and all of that. It's just that, like say with real estate, we're getting marketed to every single day by banks and by the real estate agents, or just buy that house down the road. Yeah, you'll make some money. You know, no one is out there. Have you actually studied like the best people in real estate? They make way more than 10%, way more than 20%. You can compound it 100%, not your whole life, but definitely at the beginning when the money's small, you can. Same with restaurants, man. It's the same thing. Like you look at Ray Kroc. Trust me, his money was compounding hard at the beginning, real hard.
For those who don't know who Ray Kroc is, he's I guess you would say the founder of the McDonald's business model, the franchise model. And he was compounding that hard, boys.
Still pumping, boys.
It's brick and mortar, but you find how to compound really big in the secrets, the business secrets.
That's not the basic level MBA that you go to your bloody uni and go and get, son.
Yeah.
She's in depth, like study for many, many, many years to be able to see, to even have the opportunity to do things like this.
Yeah.
Because you can't see the opportunity unless you got the knowledge. So the problem is you're having is actually the knowledge.
Yeah.
Get the damn knowledge, you'll be able to see how possible it actually is.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much everything, boys.
Fantastic. Make sure you go like, comment, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Everyone else got some last final notes?
I would only like to say, pack it up.
Pack it up.
Back it up.
Thank you for listening.
Damn.